There's been a lot of debate about the credibility of Wikileaks flying around for some time now, and up until recently, I've been sitting on the fence on the subject. At first, I supported them wholeheartedly, and at some point, it started becoming a little bit suspicious. However, after some consideration, I've come to the conclusion that we have enough evidence to come to a verdict on Wikileaks. This evidence is just common sense, hidden in plain sight, and it should be obvious once you consider the following points. Problem number one. WikiLeaks gets massive media attention on every major network before they actually even release the new documents, and then they get several weeks of additional attention after the fact. This would not be happening if WikiLeaks was actually a threat to the powers that be. When the people who are really pulling the strings are threatened by a piece of information, the mainstream media ignores it. They act as if it doesn't exist. And if for some reason they can't ignore it, then they mock it, or they discredit it, or they demonize it. Now remember, this is the same mainstream media that played cheerleaders as our government started the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and who've covered up thousands of fully documented, legitimate cases of government corruption and misdeeds. Now all of a sudden, they're giving WikiLeaks free advertising on every major network. And this brings us to problem number two. The documents themselves don't offer anything that actually points out the real criminality being perpetrated by the real power players. Sure, they're embarrassing a few minions here and there, but even that's trifling. There's enough real documentation out there that's been declassified to write up arrest warrants for half of Congress and the Pentagon, but WikiLeaks hasn't produced anything of the sort. Problem number three, WikiLeaks supports the entire Al-Qaeda mythology. In fact, it's promoting ideas that support future wars in Pakistan and Iran. And they do this by releasing documents that insinuate that the real problem in Afghanistan and the real problem in Iraq is coming from Pakistani and Iranian Al-Qaeda insurgents. And the documents that he's releasing act as if Osama bin Laden is still alive and well and planning to do evil in the United States. While anybody who's done any research knows that Osama bin Laden's been dead for years. Now, these 3 points in and of themselves, for me, are enough to build a case that WikiLeaks is not to be trusted. And this would be bad enough if disinformation was all that was at stake. But if you accept the possibility that WikiLeaks may in fact be a CIA or NSA operation, then the implications may be much more ominous for the following reasons. 1. WikiLeaks is building a reputation as the go-to outlet for whistleblowers. This means that real whistleblowers may be sending them real intel right now, and as a result, those running the operation would have the opportunity to plug those leaks before they got to anyone else. 2. This could be used as a problem reaction solution formula. The guy on the internet leaks documents, this endangers our security, we need to regulate the internet. Now, I don't know if Assange is actually a knowing participant in this, or if he's just some schmuck who's being fed documents. Either way, it's important that people start to pay attention and to regard what they're being told in the mainstream media on this subject with a very, very critical eye.